Can you imagine this? In the United States, $400 barely keeps the lights on. It's half a rent check, maybe a few grocery runs, or just another number on a long list of bills. Every month feels like a race. You can't win the rent, the insurance, the gas, the credit card interest that never sleeps. You wake up to the sound of alarms traffic, and another day chasing time. You scroll through your phone, see another reminder of due dates, and think quietly, is this what life was meant to be? Now imagine that same $400 not as pressure, but as possibility. Across the ocean, it turns into something magical. A small home with a balcony kissed by the morning sun. Fresh coffee served by a smiling neighbor. A breeze carrying the sound of church bells or the distant hum of a temple gong. No one rushing, no one honking. Just life unfolding gently. Because in many corners of the world, money stretches further, but peace goes even deeper. You don't need to escape the world. You just need to find the places where the world slows down enough for you to breathe again. Maybe happiness isn't about how much we earn, but how gently we live. So today, we're not talking about survival. We're talking about freedom, real quiet freedom. The kind you can feel in your chest when you wake up to birds instead of alarms. The kind that $400 a month can still buy, if you know where to look. Join me as we journey through 5 peaceful countries, places where life costs less, but means more. Where every sunrise feels like a second chance, and where the next chapter of your story might just begin. 5. Georgia. The balcony of the Caucasus. If Europe and Asia had a shared balcony, it would be Georgia. A little country resting high in the Caucasus Mountains, where snowy peaks touch the sky and grapevines climb the stone walls of centuries-old homes. Georgia isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that quietly invites you to stay. In Tbilisi, mornings begin softly. You open your window and see the city waking up beneath red rooftops and winding hillsides. The smell of fresh bread puree drifts from a neighborhood bakery. Below, an old man waters his pomegranate tree, humming a folk tune that somehow feels familiar, even if you don't understand the words. And here's what surprises most visitors: you don't need much to live well. A cozy one-bedroom apartment in Tbilisi's historic district costs around $250 a month. Add $40 for utilities and Wi-Fi, $120 for food, and $15 for transport, and you have everything you need, all within $450 to $520 a month. But Georgia isn't just affordable, it's astonishingly open. Americans can stay here 1 full year, visa-free, and renew it again and again. No complicated forms, no endless queues. It's as if the country itself is saying, take your time, you're home now. When it comes to healthcare, a private doctor's visit costs only $25 to $30, and most doctors speak English. In larger cities like Tbilisi or Batumi, hospitals are modern and surprisingly efficient. You don't need insurance that costs hundreds, just a simple visit, and a smile are often enough. And then there's the warmth, the kind that money can't buy. Georgians are famously hospitable. They don't just greet you, they welcome you like family. They pour wine into your glass, homemade wine, deep red and fragrant, and won't let it stay empty for long. Take Paul, a 66-year-old retiree from Chicago. He first came here just to taste the legendary Georgian wine. He rented a small flat above the river and thought he'd stay a month. That was 4 years ago. He says, in Georgia, winter doesn't feel cold. My landlady knocks on my door with a plate of hot khachapuri warm bread stuffed with cheese and insists I eat before the snow melts. Paul laughs when he talks about it. Back home, I paid more for heating than I do for everything here. But what I really bought, he says, was peace. In Georgia, every day feels like an invitation to slow down, to drink a little wine, to listen to the old songs that echo from balconies at dusk. You start to realize that happiness here isn't loud. It's gentle. It hides in the sound of church bells, the taste of homemade wine, and the smile of a stranger who treats you like an old friend. If you dream of mountains of soulful music and of a place where life feels lighter, comment below. I choose Georgia. 4. Sri Lanka, the island where time smiles. Sri Lanka feels like an island where time smiles instead of rushing. It's the kind of place where clocks seem to slow down, not because people are lazy, but because they've learned the secret of living gently. Here, every morning begins with golden sunlight slipping across palm leaves and the soft sound of waves greeting the shore. In the town of Gal, fishermen return from the sea as monks in saffron robes walk quietly through narrow alleys. The scent of cinnamon and cardamom fills the air. It's a country that whispers, you don't have to hurry anymore. And the beautiful part, you don't need much to live fully. A cozy one-bedroom apartment near Kandy or Gale costs only $200 to $250 a month. Utilities and internet add around $35, groceries and meals about $120, and local transport, the famous colorful tuk-tuks, just $15. Altogether, you can live peacefully on $450 to $500 a month and still have money left for fresh fruit, beachside tea, or a short train ride through misty tea hills. The visa process feels just as relaxed as the people here. Americans can stay 30 days and extend it up to 270 days per year with ease. And for those seeking a longer escape, there are retirement and digital nomad visas perfect for anyone wanting to slow down without giving up comfort. Healthcare, surprisingly modern. Private clinics in Colombo and Kandy are clean, professional, and affordable. A doctor's visit costs only $20 to $25. Many physicians were trained abroad, and English is widely spoken. Most expats say they rarely use insurance here because checkups and medicine are so inexpensive that paying cash often feels simpler. But what truly makes Sri Lanka unforgettable isn't the cost, it's the kindness. People don't just wave hello, they invite you in for tea. Neighbors bring fresh coconuts. Children smile at strangers. And even a simple market trip turns into a conversation. You don't feel like a foreigner. You feel like part of a community that still believes in connection. Take Janet, 63, from Arizona. After losing her husband, she sold everything and moved to Gale with just 2 suitcases and a notebook full of dreams. Now, every morning, she sits on her small terrace with a cup of cinnamon tea, watching the fishermen return in their colorful boats as the sun glows pink over the Indian Ocean. She once said, "Back in the US, I counted bills. Here I count sunsets." And that's the magic of Sri Lanka. It teaches you to trade urgency for peace, noise for nature, and loneliness for gentle company. By the time you hear the evening temple bells echoing across the hills, you'll realize that this island doesn't just offer beauty, it offers healing. If you crave ocean mornings and temple bells at dusk, and a life that finally moves at your heart's rhythm, comment below. I choose Sri Lanka. 3. Bolivia, the heartbeat of the Andes. Bolivia feels like earth breathing thin air, deep soul. Up here at the roof of South America, even the wind seems to move slower, as if the planet itself is pausing to rest. The first thing you notice isn't the altitude, it's the silence. The kind of silence that lets you hear your own heartbeat echoing through the valleys of the Andes. The mountains rise like ancient guardians, snow-dusted and stoic, watching over cities painted in pastel colors, Sucre, the white city of colonial charm, and Cochabamba, the city of eternal spring. Here life costs so little, yet gives back so much. A comfortable one-bedroom apartment in Sucre or Cochabamba is about $180 a month. Utilities add $35, and a trip to the local markets bursting with papayas, avocados, quinoa, and cheese costs around $100 to $120 a month. You walk through rows of smiling vendors in wide-brimmed hats and realize that $480 a month here isn't a survival budget. It's a life of color and flavor. For Americans, the visa process is surprisingly simple. You can stay 90 days, renew it easily each year, and no one rushes you. Bolivia isn't a country that pushes it, welcomes slowly, like a friend waiting with open arms. Healthcare, just as gentle on the heart and the wallet. A private doctor's visit costs about $25, and hospitals in Santa Cruz rival many in North America. Expats often joke that Bolivia's biggest medicine isn't a pill, it's the pace of life itself. Safety, too, feels natural here. In the smaller cities, tranquility reigns. Children play on cobblestone streets, elders sit in shaded plazas sharing stories, and the most common sound at night is laughter from a nearby cafe. You avoid remote travel after dark, of course, but in everyday life, peace is the norm, not the exception. And then there's Edward, a 70-year-old retiree from Florida. When he first arrived, he could barely climb the stairs to his apartment. The altitude in Cochabamba took his breath away. Locals laughed softly, handed him a cup of steaming coca tea and said, "Sip slowly, amigo. You'll get used to our air." Within weeks, Edward wasn't just breathing easier, he was living deeper. He joined his neighbors for morning walks through the plaza, helped children practice English, and spent afternoons listening to pan flute melodies drifting across the square. He says, "Back home I had comfort, but no connection. Here even the mountains talk to you if you listen. Bolivia doesn't shout to impress you. It whispers through its winds, through its music, through the smiles of people who have learned that simplicity is wealth. You come for the low cost, but you stay for the feeling that the earth itself is reminding you to slow down and breathe again. If you want high mountains and low bills, if you crave mornings of crisp air and evenings filled with laughter, comment below, I choose Bolivia." 2. Cambodia. The kingdom of gentle smiles. In Cambodia, time moves at the speed of kindness. It's not that people here don't have clocks, it's just that they don't let the clock control their lives. Days unfold slowly, like a river, gentle, steady, and full of life. When the sun rises over the Mekong, it paints the sky with shades of pink and gold. You hear the rhythmic chants of monks echoing from a distant pagoda, while small boats drift lazily on the water. Children in school uniforms wave as you pass by, and street vendors smile, offering you sweet mango slices for almost nothing. Here, even strangers greet you as if they've known you forever, and somehow you feel like you've come home. What's more surprising is how little it takes to live comfortably in this peaceful corner of Southeast Asia. A one-bedroom apartment in Kampot or Siem Reap costs around $200 a month. Add $30 for utilities and $80 to $100 for food, fresh fruits, grilled fish, and hot bowls of noodle soup that cost less than $2 each. Everything together comes to about $450 a month, yet life feels rich in ways money could never measure. Cambodia's visa system is as welcoming as its people. The retirement visa is simple show proof of about $800 in monthly income, and you can live here peacefully year after year. No bureaucracy, no headaches, just smiles and patience. Healthcare, too, is more modern than many expect. Private hospitals in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap are clean, efficient, and affordable. A private doctor's visit costs about $20, and most physicians speak English. If something more serious arises, Bangkok is just a short flight away, but most expats say they rarely need to leave. And then there's the heart of Cambodia, its people. No matter where you go, someone will smile at you. Maybe it's the fruit seller who adds an extra banana to your bag. Maybe it's the monk who nods quietly as you walk past his pagoda. Or maybe it's the children who shout, "Hello, teacher," the moment they see your face. That's how Martha, a 68-year-old from New Jersey, fell in love with this country. She came for a short trip, just 2 weeks, but ended up staying for good. At first, she joined a monk-led meditation retreat in Kampot, learning how to greet in Khmer with a gentle bow and the words, "Chum Reap Suor." Later, she began teaching English to village kids by the river. She says they don't have much, but they give everything: their laughter, their curiosity, their love. Now her tiny home is filled with drawings the children made for her colorful crayon sons, and the words, "Thank you, Teacher Martha," written in shaky handwriting. Cambodia teaches you something precious, that peace doesn't come from comfort, it comes from connection. From sharing a meal, from smiling back, from living each day without rushing to tomorrow. So if you seek peace by the Mekong and laughter in every smile, if you want to live where time flows softly and hearts stay open, comment below. I choose Cambodia. 1. Tunisia, the doorway between deserts and the sea. Tunisia is the golden doorway between Africa's warmth and Europe's rhythm, a country where the desert meets the sea, where the wind carries both the scent of salt and sand, and every sunset feels like it was painted just for you. When you first arrive, you might expect chaos, loud markets, honking cars, the heat of North Africa. But Tunisia surprises you with its calm. The Mediterranean rolls in quietly, kissing whitewashed towns like Sousse and Hammamet, while the call to prayer echoes softly through narrow blue and white alleyways. Life here isn't loud. It hums gently like a distant melody you never get tired of hearing. And the cost of this peace almost unbelievably low. A one-bedroom apartment by the sea in Sousse or Hammamet costs around $220 a month. Add $40 for utilities, $120 for groceries, and you'll still live comfortably on $480 to $520 a month. That's everything: rent, food, internet, and a front-row seat to the Mediterranean sunrise. For Americans, Tunisia's visa policy feels like a hidden gem. You can stay 90 days visa-free, and getting residency is simple: show a stable income and a rental contract, and the door opens wide. No need to buy property or spend thousands. Here, life welcomes you with the same ease as the morning tide. Healthcare is another pleasant surprise. Private clinics cost only $25 to $35 per visit, clean and professional, with doctors who speak both French and English. In cities like Tunis and Sousse, you'll find modern hospitals with the warmth of small-town care, a rare combination in today's world. And when it comes to safety, Tunisia's coastal towns are among the calmest in North Africa. People greet you with respect, often placing a hand on their heart as they say hello. Neighbors look out for one another, and retirees here say the community spirit reminds them of America decades ago, when doors stayed open and people still said good morning. From Georgia's snowy peaks to Sri Lanka's sunlit shores, from Bolivia's ancient mountains to Cambodia's gentle smiles, and Tunisia's sea breeze whispering through the palms, 5 very different lands, yet they share one quiet truth: happiness doesn't cost much. Because peace isn't found in numbers or bank accounts. It's found in the way the morning light touches your window, in a neighbor's smile, in the laughter that rises from a street cafe, and in the calm that comes when you finally stop running. Maybe freedom isn't about earning more, but about needing less. Less noise, less pressure, less of the things that keep us from feeling alive. The more you travel, the more you realize you don't have to go far to find paradise. You just have to go where life feels light again, where people still greet you with warmth, where time is not a cage but a melody. So tell me, which country touched your heart the most? Was it the mountains of Georgia, the ocean air of Sri Lanka, the soul of Bolivia, the kindness of Cambodia, or the calm of Tunisia? Comment below, hit like and subscribe, and join Discover Globe Places Top 10 on our next journey to find peace beyond price. Because sometimes the richest life is the one that simply feels free.